Welcome to Just Ask Freeman. I'm Rebecca Powers. So happy to be with you again this week. And of course, the CEO and founder of Financial Sources, Inc., Mr. Freeman Owen Jr. So wonderful to be with you, sir.
I tell you, it is, I'm excited. I'm always excited.
I know you
especially
really are.
working with you. I tell you, we've got some good stuff information.
Yes.
Adding to financial literacy. Now, I want to preface that. Many of us are educated. However, we were not privy to financial literacy.
That's
so
right.
we make mistakes during our retirement journey. Well, what we're going to talk about today is beneficiaries. I look at the camera and I look at seeing if our viewers are tuning in the fact that you've got to understand how to designate your beneficiaries so that wealth is transferred to your loved ones.
All of your wealth.
All of the wealth.
Not just a little to them and the rest to Uncle Sam.
Exactly. No, we don't need that. But what is interesting about, I wanted to cover this, you and I had just talked about the discussion about beneficiaries. A lot of people make the mistakes make a mistake when it comes to designating their beneficiary, but there's been a major change since 2019, when it comes to beneficiaries. There has been the Secure Act, which was implemented January 1 of 2020. Now our viewing audience says, well, what is the Secure Act, Freeman?
Yeah. How does it affect me is what they're thinking.
Your retirement plan payouts to your beneficiaries. 3 categories.
Okay.
One is the non-designated beneficiary, and I'm going to define that. Then you have the entity, non-eligible designated beneficiary, and then the eligible beneficiaries. Let's start with non-designated beneficiaries. Now, prior to January 1st of 2020, moms, dads, children, siblings could receive the benefit, or if they were designated beneficiaries, they would receive those proceeds in the event of the demise of the portfolio holder.
Okay.
And those proceeds would extend over the life expectancy of that non-spouse. What all that changed? As of January 1st, 2020, this Secure Act simply stated non-designated beneficiaries are defined as mom, dad, sister, brother, siblings, cousins, nieces.
Friend.
They're not spouses.
Gotcha.
Now, here's how this works. The Secure Act did not modify husband and wife as beneficiaries. Now, let's say you have a 401k or an IRA or TSP. One of the spouses is the beneficiary. There could be a payout over the life expectancy of one of the spouses. Then there would be what? Spousal continuation.
Right.
For example, I've had a number of clients now, since I've been in the industry over 40 some odd years, they're in their 80s and 90s. Now, a good example, one of my clients passed with me over 35 years, lived in Fort Washington. Husband, wife. Married couple. When the husband passed, the tax qualified monies, Rebecca, went directly to the spouse, the living spouse, and there was a payout. The payout to the living spouse continued on, right on through her life expectancy. But here's the difference now. There's also the beneficiary to the living spouse, alrighty, which are the children.
Gotcha.
In the event of the demise of the living spouse, the funds would go to the adult children. Once they receive the proceeds, that tax qualified plan must be distributed within, there's a 10-year rule, 10 years.
Okay.
Now, what would happen in the event that the children, since the mom is continuing to live well beyond 2020, if she passed this year, next year, the benefits going to the children, adult children, that distribution must be taken, like I said, within a 10-year period. It's called the 10-year rule. Now, Rebecca, do you know what happens if in the 11th year, the children do not take all of the money out of that tax-qualified plan? It doesn't matter.
Penalty?
Big one.
Big one. How much?
50%
Yikes.
of what should have been taken out of that IRA. And I've got a solution.
Of course you do. Just ask Freeman.
There you go. Just ask Freeman. Here's the solution.
Okay.
We would do a tax-efficient plan. All righty. And there are strategies in which the distribution can be taken out by the non-spouses,
Gotcha.
the children and grandchildren, such that we minimize the tax bite. Folks, if you want to know, just ask Freeman. Call us at 833-414-7233, and we'll have a tax-efficient plan, and we'll define the designated and non-designated beneficiaries to minimize our taxes. So I wanted to share this with you.
Yeah, it's so important, because in the long run, it can be tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Do you find a lot of people don't even have tax planning or weren't talked to about tax planning?
I talk to many folks who come, now we're coming to the office here, and they have no clue on the tax consequences on distribution. They make mistakes, for example, or have been told, Donna, you better go ahead and, if you want to purchase that automobile from your tax qualified plan, your IRA or TSP, take the money out where there's tax consequences.
Right.
And also you impact the beneficiaries that you have for these tax qualified plans. And like I said, the TSP, the 401k, your IRA, even the Roth, which is the distribution from the Roth, is supposed to be tax-free, however, is subject to what? The 10-year rule. So folks, if you want to know how to get a tax-efficient plan and how to designate your beneficiaries properly, just ask Freeman. Call us at 833-414-7233. Am I right about that?
Absolutely.
I tell you. And here's something else special that we'll have. I'll wait till the end of this segment.
Okay.
And it's going to be special for the first 10 callers, because I know, folks, that my viewing audience out there really like to know, how do I pass on my wealth to my children, my grandchildren, have multi-generational wealth transfers? So call us at 833-414-7233. Just ask Freeman, and we'll have a tax-efficient plan for you. Expect that. Complimentary review. We can look at your current assets. If you got $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, we'll review those assets, designate the beneficiaries properly, so your wealth will be transferred to your loved ones the way you want it, not the way Uncle Sam would like to have it done.
Exactly.
Okay? All righty.
And you don't want to end up in probate. You've taught me that too.
That's
Probate
it.
is the last place you want to be.
Exactly. So many folks don't realize that their assets, such as in volatile accounts, some savings accounts, they don't understand or have not been taught or weren't privy to financial literacy that covered probate.
Absolutely.
That's where the judge, and usually probate takes anywhere between 9 months to 5 years. It's an ugly process.
And you have to pay lawyers in the meantime, end up with less money.
That's right.
And Lord knows when you get it. Let's take a very, very short break.
Okay.
833-414-7233 is the number to come and meet the amazing Freeman Owen Jr. And of course, Financial Services Inc. has made thousands of people's dream come true of retiring. So give us a call, have your calendar ready. We want to set an appointment so you can come in and meet this wonderful team and make your retirement so easy. When we come back, we're going to talk about your legacy. Have you even thought about that? Stay tuned.
We're frequently asked where we think tax rates are headed. Most experts agree tax rates will eventually have to go up as our federal debt increases. Without any changes, the government's current plan is set to expire in 2025. Every penny counts, especially in your retirement. Is your current plan efficient and optimized to reduce your tax obligation? Contact us today. Just ask Freeman. For a complimentary review, reach us at 833-414-7233.
All right, welcome back. Thanks so much for staying with us. You give such wonderful advice, of course, in your book, 10 IRA Mistakes and How to Avoid Tax Traps. When it comes to your legacy, what you will be remembered by, what you can leave to your children and grandchildren, you said that is how you build generational wealth. What is the first thing people need to do in legacy? Well, at least have a plan.
Yes, that's
Start
right.
with that. Well, how do you craft that?
Well, here's what we do. Since I served, our show has been seen in many states now.
Yes, you're quite popular.
I appreciate that, and especially you by my side here, just asking
you're
my
so
questions.
sweet.
One of the first things we should do is look at our income-producing assets.
Okay.
All righty. And that's why I have a tax-efficient plan written out. Let me get into a little detail. Even
Okay,
the budget,
good.
our mortgages, food, transportation, utilities, and so on. So we find out exactly how much income is needed,
Gotcha.
okay, for their retirement and also for unexpected expenses. I'm going to share that with you. Now, to avoid that probate, you need the type of instruments that you're not involved with probate, lawsuits, and creditor claims. You need to take a portion of your assets, set it up so that the distribution to your loved ones, non-spouses, non-eligible beneficiaries, okay, they still said subject to the 10-year rule, and have the programs such that the distribution is taken out of those tax qualified plans within 10 years. Now, one of the solutions, it's kind of simple. As a matter of fact, I have a death claim to process this coming Monday. The parent is right here in Upper Marlboro, had passed, Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Mm-hmm. The daughter is now receiving these proceeds. But I have a solution so that she can avoid probate, lawsuits, and reduce the tax bite. Now, when I meet with her, what we're going to talk about is how can we minimize, now you can't evade, minimize taxes.
Right.
Share the solution. And I'm pretty sure that folks that view an audience, that you're looking at this and you say, well, Freeman, how does this work? Just ask Freeman, 833-414-7233. Now let me tell you what to expect.
Okay.
What she will expect. The first thing is we have all the documents to process the death claim. She will be informed. There is the 10-year rule. I'll show her the documentation to that point because her parent, her mom, passed after 2020.
Gotcha. So the Secure Act changed the game.
From where she would receive these benefits over the young lady's life expectancy, not anymore.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to have her take out a percentage. And when you have the IRA, I'm not going to have her inherit it because that'd be a big mistake. if she inherits the entire amount, she'd be subject to taxation.
Puts her in a higher bracket.
And she's under 59 and a half, a 10% penalty to go along with the taxable, her own tax bracket.
Right.
That could be, she could lose almost 40 to 50% of her mother's lifetime earnings. Now,
isn't that amazing? Because with literacy, that's why you're so passionate about informing, educating, empowering, because there's all these rules that we all should live by, but most of us aren't even aware of them.
exactly. Financial literacy is pretty well a premium.
Yeah, it's everything.
I've come in contact with folks all over the Washington metropolitan area and out of the state now, well-educated people with PhDs. Well, Freeman, I didn't know that. I didn't know how to receive. I didn't know how to set up the beneficiaries for my children. I wasn't aware that the beneficiaries receiving their funds, the game has changed.
Right.
When it comes to retirement and to get funds from or multi-generational wealth. Well, I got to share this with the viewing audience. When this young lady comes over, she's going to get from me financial literacy.
Right.
To go through her generation and to her child's generation. Here's what I'm going to say. You can take as much money out as you like from this IRA. But I suggest you take a monthly payment. Take out a certain percentage for federal taxes, a certain percentage for state taxes. What do you have? Net money.
Right.
Now, you can spend the funds if you like, but I would recommend that you open up a Roth IRA.
Because that's non-taxable.
That's it.
Okay.
5-year rule, 59 and a half, and we do that on a monthly basis. Or we can take, and again, when you inherit that, not inherit the IRA, when you receive those proceeds, you better not inherit that IRA.
Right.
You best take as much as you like out of that tax qualified plan, and it better be distributed by year 10. So if those funds are not distributed in year 11, the young lady might say, well, I don't need the money. I got my own funds. I do this.
Yeah,
well,
what would happen?
IRS will go right on back retroactively to year 1 or year 2
And take it.
And then a 50% surtax is applied to what should have been taken out 10 years prior.
Wow. So that's why your book, How to Avoid Tax Traps, is so wonderful. And when you come into the office, first it takes a phone call. And once you come into the office and you get a copy of this wonderful book, it is a very short, easy read. Let's give them the number, Freeman, and tell them what they can expect when they first come in to meet your team.
833-414-7233. What do you expect? Just ask Freeman. Tax efficient plans. Know how the experience in knowing how to set up beneficiary programs so that you minimize your taxes. You can't get away from it, Rebecca. You have to pay taxes. But why give Uncle Sam a tremendous amount of the legacy that was built by mom, dad, grandma, and so on? Okay. And especially you have to be careful also that even though you have husband and wife, they have to be informed about spousal continuation and how to avoid risk, market risk.
Let's start our next segment with spousal continuation. All right, so much to learn from Mr. Freeman. Stay with us. There's the number again, 833-414-7233. We'll be right back.
Unexpected events like a global pandemic can turn our world upside down overnight. They can cause volatile shifts in the market and may cause you to question the confidence in your current retirement plan. As a pre-retiree or retiree, knowing you have a plan that can withstand the worst economic conditions can help you sleep at night. Contact us today for your complimentary review to find out where you stand. Just ask Freeman. Call us at 833-414-7233.
Welcome back. We were talking about your legacy, how to pass your money down to your children and loved ones without Uncle Sam taking a big chunk of it. Spousal continuation, that's where we had to stop. Let's start there.
Okay, let's start right there at spousal continuation. There are programs which we have available that for husband and wives and children, grandchildren, and so on. But when you designate the spouse, and in the event of the demise of one of the spouses, we can have a direct payout to that spouse, the living spouse, over the life expectancy of that living spouse. Good example, I've done a number of these because a number of my, I've got clients that have been with me, 15, 25, 30 years or so. They are now getting guaranteed lifetime income that they'll never be able to outlive.
Amazing.
It is. I'm excited about that because we've made a difference with financial literacy for these folks now. They're 75, 80, 85. I think the oldest one I have, client, is now 96 now. 30 years. I've been
awesome.
right there, carried them right through from their job to retirement, and here's spousal continuation. Now, in the event of the demise of my 96 at any age, and they're married, the proceeds that are paid out for the living spouse will never run out. It can be designated such that they'll never run out of money. And if the first or the deceased spouse has been receiving income 5 years, 10 years over their life expectancy, a good, like I said, a number of them. Fairfax, Virginia, it comes to mind. A young man, well, not a young man anymore, but I remember when he was younger, he and his wife married. Then as they aged, he passed 65. He had started taking guaranteed lifetime income. He retired early.
Okay.
All right. Now, once he retired, he continued to receive this income for a number of years, passed, and his wife continued on with the same income for the rest of her life. She's still alive. Now, that's been, what, 20 years now? 15?
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about a
She's
legacy.
80-some years old.
Taking care of her.
And she has been informed what she did. She just asked Freeman early on. Freeman, now what do I do about my children? Now, we had already set up the multi-generational IRA distribution to the children and grandchildren.
Gotcha.
The rules change December of 2019, January 1. So we had to adjust the beneficiaries because the father had passed prior to 2019.
Gotcha.
In the event that his wife, who was continuing to receive the income for life, she passes, the 10-year rule would apply to who? The children, grandchildren, and great-grands.
Gotcha.
See, that's that can get complex there a little bit there, and you need a professional. Just ask Freeman. Come and find out how to deal with legacy planning, tax-efficient planning, written out, and receive financial literacy.
Absolutely.
So that you know how to create a legacy for your children. I think this was a very, very important message because a lot of people, matter of fact, before I came, I flew out here to the studio. This lady had a lot of money, 7 figures. Most of my clients, they have $250,000, $500,000, $1 million in tax qualified money, 401ks, TSPs, 403Bs. These are employer-sponsored retirement accounts that a lot of times we do rollovers to their own IRAs. That's why that book, The Tax Traps, the 10 IRA mistakes and how to avoid the tax traps. There it is. Folks, you want to know more? Just ask Freeman. Call us at 833-414-7233. One more thing. like I said, I'm working on this case. She stopped by the office. She lives in Silver Spring, Maryland. I got some great cases. How people are very pleased. They saw our show, Just Ask Freeman. The lady comes over. She says, well, I've got one daughter. This piece of my qualified plan, I don't want any distribution for myself. I want it for my daughter.
That's sweet.
So I provided the financial literacy to set up her daughter, who has to adhere to the 10-year rule. Now, you got 7 figures. In the event of the demise of moms, that daughter has to get the distribution within 10 years.
And I'm sorry, will she pay taxes on it later, or you converted it before she inherits it?
See, there's an option.
Okay.
Okay. One option is that we could use, I'll just say this, we could use even life insurance, okay, which is a tax-free death benefit, in order to pay the taxes on the distribution that has to be removed in 10 years. So, folks, if you want financial literacy and you wish to have information about how to pass on your assets to your loved ones, non-spouses, just ask Freeman. That's all you got to do. Call us at 833-414-7233 and get your tax-efficient plan broke down for you, documented, so that you know how to pass on the legacy to your loved ones that are non-spouses in an efficient way, rather than get, I can't wait to tell. Sometimes you get a financial advisor, friend, relatives, and so on. Man, you better do such and such. And the person that gave you that, quote, financial advice, don't know the consequences that it would have on the distribution of your nest egg to your loved ones.
Well, and everyone's different. What's right for you may not be right for me. Every single person is so different, and that's what I love about your firm. It's this holistic, you are that one. You're not a cookie cutter like a lot of big firms. You're also a true fiduciary, which means that you have your client's best interest by ethical promise.
I must.
You must, yes. 833-414-7233. If you have any questions at all, just ask Freeman. And of course, you will get a tax analysis. All of this is complimentary, right?
Exactly. I don't have to charge fees. All right. And I'll tell you how I'm compensated by the various companies I represent. Just ask. It's just simple. I love it. This is something that, when you press on financial literacy to others and you see how their lifestyle, the quality of life improves. And you surround yourself with estate attorneys. Got to have that.
And you've got all that, a one-stop shop. We are out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. Just Ask Freeman. We'll see you again next week. Give us a call.